Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video. Of course, continuing on reviewing Halloweenish films. Now, we've come up to, and as I teased, what I was going to be reviewing next, this film too, celebrating its anniversary, from 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who brought us The Godfather. This time, he brought us Dracula. Yeah, so he directed a Dracula film, of course, based off of the novel, of course, by Bram Stoker. Yeah, and so this is the second Dracula film I'm reviewing this year after Nosferatu. So, yeah. And I watched it for the first time, and I gotta say, what an interesting Dracula film, and, being directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Okay, the story. The centuries-old vampire, Count Dracula, comes to England to seduce his barrister Jonathan Harris's fiancée, Minnie Murray. I got that right. And inflict havoc in the Forgin land. Yep. So, yeah, and, of course, like in the novel and such, Jonathan is sent off, to where Dracula lives and at this castle. And the cast of characters, there was a little bit going on, during this film, a clash between, it was mostly, say, an argument between, say, Gary Oldman and Francis Ford Coppola, differences on, what was going on in the movie, Apparently, even, okay, but the cast of characters. Dracula being played by the one and only Gary Oldman. Yeah, before, say, Fifth Element and Sirius Black and Commissioner Gordon, he was Dracula. So, yeah, he was really good as Dracula. He pulled a pretty good likeness, even with, saying vampire makeup and the teeth, Especially the wardrobe he had on, because he had different appearances in the film, not to mention the most well-known appearance with that giant hairpiece and that, red, suit, you know what I'm saying? That's, the most well-known, look to Dracula, for his Dracula. Then, of course, there's Jonathan Harker, played by Keanu Reeves. I think I read that Keanu Reeves, I don't know what he said about about when he did this movie. He later on said it wasn't really a good experience or for him. I don't know, but hey, I don't think he was that bad. Of course, he does some acting, aside from him, being, Ted and Bill and Ted or anything like that, doing a bit of goofiness or whatever. He can act, he could be serious and so on. So, yeah. And then, Jonathan's fiancée, Mina, played by Winona Ryder. She was pretty good, too, as Mina. Then, also, we've got Sir Anthony Hopkins as Professor Abraham Van Helsing. Anthony Hopkins as Abraham Van Helsing. Wow, that is something, And, I completely forgot that Cary Elwes, I don't think I'm even saying his last name right. Wesley from Princess Bride. Yeah, he's in this film, too, as Lord Arthur Holmwood. I believe, if I'm correct, Lord Arthur Holmwood, he's the fiancé of whom I'm about to mention next. Hold on. Because I've got this on the tablet, So, Lucy, Lucy Westenera, I don't think I'm saying that right, but basically just Lucy, played by Sadie Frost. And Dr. Jack Seward is being played by Richard E. Grant. So my mom completely forgot that he was in this. So, even say Renfield, who's in this too. Where did he go? He clearly should be in the top cast. Oh, here he is. Yeah, I was R.M. Renfield, played by Tom Waits. I think I got that right. Yeah, because like, Renfield like being the servant or henchman of Dracula, and I'm loyal to you, my master, and he's in the asylum, he's in prison, and being acting crazy, and even when say Jonathan and Dracula meet, and Dracula discovers, about Jonathan's fiance. Well, the thing is, in the 15th century, Dracula was a man, and he had a wife, of course, and Winona Ryder playing two characters, and when she appeared, okay, hold on, like the other role she played was, of course, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, Elizabetta. Maybe I got that right. I don't know. But yeah, Winona Ryder also played the wife of Dracula. And when I saw her again, when she appears again as Mina in the 19th century, I was like, oh boy, because, yeah, we know what's coming now in the film. And, yeah, like, Dracula does something, like, starting with Jonathan and then Mina. Like, basically, like, this one sequence, Dracula has three brides. Monica, Belusi, and Michelle Burso, if I'm saying that right, and Florina Kendrick. They play the three brides of Dracula. They basically like seduce Jonathan or something like that. They're vampires too. There's a bit of nudity and a little bit in this movie. Even like say at one point, like Dracula, he did start seducing Mina, but also seducing Lucy. And they were out in the rain, and the two of them kissed. I was like, I have several questions. What the heck's up with that? Is this Dracula's doing? That's what I want to know. But anyways, eventually, like, Lucy, a lot happens to Lucy because she becomes a vampire, and she was due to be married to Lord Arthur. So I'll just call him Arthur. And so, yeah, and Anthony Hopkins, talk more about Anthony Hopkins. He was pretty good as Abraham Van Helsing. Not to mention, a year before doing this movie, he had already done and won an Oscar for his role as Dr. Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. So, I think I read there was somebody else big considered for the part of Abraham Van Helsing. I have to look that up. I really do. I think it was Liam Neeson. Yeah, it was probably him. And, but because of, what was, popularity of Anthony Hopkins, and the role of Van Helsing eventually went to, Anthony Hopkins, and Liam Neeson was turned down for the role. Anyways, so I also like Steve Buscemi was considered for a role, and so was Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was considered for the role of Dracula at one point. Boy, that would have been interesting. Yeah, I was right. Okay, yeah, Liam Neeson, because I'm reading it. Liam Neeson was considered for and very much wanted the role of Abraham Van Helsing, but after Sir Anthony Hopkins, still writing the success of Silence of the Lambs, showed interest in the role, Neeson was ultimately turned down. Yeah, that was, but, Liam Neeson, he got much better roles very later on, in his acting career. Yeah, so pretty emotional and intense stuff, okay, I should know the fact that, yeah, Mina is being seduced by Dracula, even say when Dracula is disguising himself as other people, Gary Oldman in different costumes, one where he's got a big, top hat, and I think he's got goggles, I wouldn't say, it's steampunk, but still, Even say when there's moments where we see Dracula turn into a wolf, and even say when he turns into a very creepy, like, vampire, like a bat creature, you know what I mean? Eventually, like, say, Van Helsing, Lord Arthur, Dr. Jack, and Jonathan Harker. Like, Jonathan does return, and all of them get together, and so does Mina, to take on Dracula, and, keeping Mina safe from Dracula. But still, Dracula gets to Mina, and, like Mina kind of slowly but surely, I guess, turning into a vampire. Like, okay, he bites her by the neck, and then, like, she kind of drinks the blood from from his chest. Oh, yeah, by the way, Lucy, she does full-time turn into a vampire, even, like, holding a crying child, and literally when her name is called, when she turns around, she flat out drops the child. Oh my god, like, but yeah, like, of course, a big battle and climax at the end. And, of course, the last two characters we see, like, okay, one of them gets... I forget which one gets killed, but oh, yeah, Billy Campbell. I almost forgot to mention him. He's Quincy. He plays Quincy P. Morris. Oh, yeah, and there's also a sequence, like a scene between, Renfield and Mina, and talking about Dracula. It might have been him. I'm pretty sure. I think, yeah, Quincy was the one that got killed. Pretty sure. But eventually, like, Mina, does kill Dracula officially, and, kills him, stabbing him, but then, like, slicing his neck and, like, stabbing her or whatever, and, of course, she does slice his head. And, like, one last shot where she looks up and, like, because they're in this, like, church or something, and, like, a picture of, like, say, Dracula and his wife. I guess they're reunited in heaven, probably so. Yeah. And that's just how the movie ends. Like, wow. What a way to end that movie, I should say. But, yeah, like, the 1992 Dracula film, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, that was not bad. I guess I would recommend it, yeah. I would probably give it another watch, because it's not that bad, actually. And also, I read about this, that, this movie was, Coppola, like, made this movie, to save his, company from bankruptcy, just like what he tried to do with, Godfather Part 3. And turns out that, it worked. So, yeah, managed to save his company from bankruptcy. So, anyways, yeah, and how do I rate? This movie? Good question. Since I thought it was pretty good, I'm kind of going back and forth on this. Oh my gosh, this is tough. Okay, now it's really coming to, I'm really thinking of it now. Okay, 7 out of 10 stars. 7 out of 10 stars for Dracula. And what about you guys? If any of you had seen Dracula, you let me know what you thought of it and what you thought of my review. Leave comments and give this review a like as always. So, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the 1992 Dracula film directed by Francis Ford Coppola. More reviews coming your way. They're gonna be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And stay tuned later tonight, because I'm going to be reviewing another Halloweenish film, and, coincidentally, this also stars Anthony Hopkins. That's right. Of one famous character that he plays. You probably know what I'm talking about, so stay tuned for that later tonight. Take care, and peace out.